town of Willow Creek. Near the edge of the town stood the infamous Willow Creek Mansion, an abandoned house that every kid in the neighborhood whispered about. Legend had it that a ghost named Lily haunted the halls, waiting for visitors foolish enough to step inside. Sammy, Ella, and Tommy were no ordinary kids. They prided themselves on their courage, or, in Tommy's case, his knack for turning fear into a joke. That night, the trio gathered outside the creaky gates of the mansion. "Come on, Ella," Sammy said, gripping his flashlight tightly. "It's just an old house. What's the worst that could happen?" Ella cruzó sus brazos, agarrando su bolso de snacks como una línea de vida. "I can think of 100 things, starting with ghosts." "Ghosts aren't real," Tommy said, swiping his plastic sword through the air with a flourish. "But if they are, I've got this." A sudden creak echoed through the still night. The kids froze, staring at the dark windows of the mansion. "Was that?" Ella started. "It's just the wind," Sammy said, though his voice wavered slightly. "Let's go." They pushed open the gate and stepped inside. The mansion was everything the rumors had promised: dusty, dark, and filled with an eerie silence. Their footsteps echoed on the wooden floor as they wandered through the labyrinth of hallways. "Why does it feel like someone's watching us?" Ella susurró, mirando nerviosamente sobre su hombro. Tommy laughed, though it sounded more nervous than brave. "It's just your imagination, Ella, or maybe the ghost likes your snacks." Suddenly, a soft whisper floated through the air. "Did you hear that?" Sammy asked, his flashlight darting around the room. The whisper grew louder, turning into a faint, chilling voice. From the shadows a figure emerged, a pale girl in a torn white dress. Her eyes glowed faintly, and her hair floated as if caught in an invisible breeze. "Why have you come to my house?" the ghostly figure asked. All 3 kids screamed at once. Ella dropped her snacks, and Tommy swung his sword wildly. "We didn't mean to," Sammy stammered. We just wanted to see if the stories were true," the ghost finished, her voice carrying an otherworldly echo. The kids backed into a room and slammed the door, their hearts pounding. But the ghost simply walked through the door, her translucent form shimmering in the dim light. "I'm Lily," she said softly. "I used to live here, until they came." "Who's they?" Ella asked, her voice trembling. Lily raised a hand, and the room filled with swirling, shadowy figures. Their eyes glowed red, and their sharp whispers filled the air. "They trapped me here," Lily said, "and they'll trap you too unless you help me fight them." "Fight them?" Tommy squeaked. "With what? This?" He held up his plastic sword, and to his surprise it began to glow with a brilliant golden light. Lily nodded. "Your bravery has power. Use it." What followed was a chaotic yet oddly thrilling battle. The shadows lunged at the kids, their forms twisting and writhing like living nightmares. Tommy swung his glowing sword, slicing through the shadows as they erupted into harmless puffs of smoke. Ella, panicking, hurled her snacks at the figures. Each chip and candy bar exploded into sparkles upon impact, sending the shadows retreating. Sammy shone his flashlight, the beam cutting through the darkness like a blade. Together they pushed back the shadows until only one remained, a massive, swirling figure that seemed to absorb all light around it. "Sammy," Lily called, "your light is the strongest. Shine it now." With a deep breath, Sammy focused the flashlight's beam, and the final shadow dissolved in a blinding burst of light. The room fell silent. The air felt lighter, and the once dusty mansion seemed to gleam faintly. Lily stood before them, her form shimmering like morning dew. "You freed me," she said, her voice filled with gratitude. "Thank you. Now I can rest." She began to fade, her figure dissolving into the soft glow of dawn. But before she disappeared completely, she turned to them with a smile. "Goodbye, my friends, and thank you for the snacks." As the first rays of sunlight broke through the mansion's windows, the kids stumbled outside, laughing nervously. "That was the scariest thing I've ever done," Ella said, "and I am never doing it again." Come on, Tommy said, twirling his now ordinary sword. That was awesome. Next time we'll bring more snacks, maybe a pizza. Sammy grinned. See, I told you it wasn't so bad. Ella glared at him, but a small smile crept onto her face. Let's just go home before anything else happens. As they walked away, the faint sound of Lily's laughter followed them, carried on the breeze. The end.